So welcome back to the channel. My name is Chris and I'm a gorilla in the wrist. Today we're looking at a new addition to my Skmei family, the latest, what I hear referred to as Skmoaks. These are the Skmei homage to the Casioak. The full metal one on the right has become my most successful video of all time, and then I'm very interested to see what we make of the new blue boy sitting right next to it. Let's get into it. Casioak. And there we have it. So this is the Skmei 2091, but anybody looking at it will know that this is very clearly an homage to the Casio GA2100. Interestingly, the shape of this one is slightly different from others that I've got. So whilst the overall shape is broadly similar, this one actually, the bezel on it is much squarer. Certainly if you compare that to the all metal version, you can see that has that quite strong hexagonal shape. The blue one, the new one, doesn't quite have that. It's a little bit square around the edges. It is still a bit Genter-esque, I think, and certainly if you compare that to the original. So the original again had that very clear octagonal shape to it, and this has squared that off a little bit, so it is a little bit different in that respect. The colours are glorious. I just think this is a wonderful colour. I have tried to find out what it is. I think this is cerulean, so cerulean blue, with turquoise indicators and turquoise hands. It is on an inverted display, and that was my cock up, because I thought I'd ordered the normal display, but I hadn't. I'd erroneously ordered the inverted display. Not a problem, because I think actually this one sticks out reasonably well against that blue colour. So let's just talk a little bit of the dimensions before we stick up the full specs. So this is roughly the same size as the others. It comes in at just over 44mm. It is a little bit chonkier. Now, I don't mind them being a little bit chonkier because I'm a little bit chonkier myself. So this one comes in at 13mm in terms of thickness. However, have a look at that profile, and what I think you'll note, the thing that is causing that is actually the case back itself. So it has a pronounced outward curve to it that you certainly don't see on the watch that it's homaging at all. So just for reference, there you go, which does mean this wears a little bit thicker. I don't think that's a huge problem. The lug to lug on this, despite the fact that it's a 44mm dial width, the lug to lug is only 48mm, so it wears really well. And the lug width, it has this slightly odd 18mm lug width. So the gap between the lugs is that, but clearly then flares out to a good 22-23mm at the widest point, which then tapers down again back down to about 18mm. It's on, I can't get this across in the video, it's on a really soft, really soft strap. There's a little bit of patination on the back of it, but this is just silky soft. Just remarkable at the price. I genuinely have no idea how they do that. It's really nice, it's very flexible, and hence you get a really good wear on it for the size. And then finally, in terms of the strap, so the strap's lovely. It does come with a slightly shiny buckle, slightly generic, not branded, don't care. For me, it works, it does it well. Would it have been better with a black buckle on it? Yeah, possibly, but to be honest, at this price I could find a buckle in amongst my many collection of bits that would do it. And that colour is just lovely. There's something about it. Now, I am going to stick up in the corner a quick flip through the other colours, because believe it or not, there's about half a dozen of them this one comes out in. But I think this is the one that really catches the eye. When it's not catching the light, there's no anti-reflective coating on this one. When it's not catching the light, it does catch the eye somewhat. So really, really nice. And then in terms of what's on the back, there is some detail on there. It does tell you what battery you need on the back of it, which I think is really helpful. And the other thing about this is that it's only a 50mm water resistance. So this isn't the full-on G-Shock. You can't throw this at walls. You can't go deep diving with it. But for everyday wear, I think 50 meters of water resistance is perfectly reasonable, perfectly doable, and many watches have it. So for me, that's not a problem. So let's get into the detailed specifications. So let's do a quick run around the specifications. So this watch has a dial width of 44mm, but a fairly compact lug-to-lug at 48. The lug width is 18mm, but flares out. It is a little bit chunky on the 13mm side. It definitely has a movement. No idea which one. It weighs in at a fairly light, paltry 70 grams. Has a claimed water resistance of 50 meters, but I wouldn't test it out if I was absolutely honest. And the crystal is acrylic of some form, so you should be able to get scratches out of it. So let's talk about the things that I'm not hugely enamoured with on this one. And for me, I think there's only a couple really. I mean, clearly it's not an original design. This borrows very, 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 very heavily from the Casio. And I kind of think it's lost its way a little bit with the shape of that bezel. I do think one of the distinctive things about the Casio is that style, octagonal style. It is hugely distinctive, and I think they've lost their way a little bit with this one. And the other thing for this one that's not in its favour is just the 50 meters water resistance. It's going to work for most people, but clearly this isn't up to the scratch of the original one. So in terms of the things I like about it, the first thing I really like is that actually this has identical functionality to the original GA2100. So let's just very quickly run through the modes. So what we have is standard time. We have the digital time. We have the day and the month. And the sub-dial at 9 o'clock is a day indicator indicating today is Saturday, and all works well. In terms of the other functionality, we start off with world time. So this has 60 odd world times on it. Mine's set to Sydney, so good morning, Jodie. It has a pretty decent stopwatch. It has a timer, a countdown timer on it, and it has alarms. Many, 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 many alarms, along with an hourly signal if that's your thing. That really annoys me, so it's not mine. And so there you go. All the functionality you would ever really need in a watch without any question. So I think the functionality of this is really, really good. The second bit is the colour. I just love it. I think they've done really well. I don't think Casio do one in this sort of shade, but it's just eye-catching. It has a bit of the sort of the midnight colour to it as well. It's not a cheery blue. It has a little bit of mood to it for me. So I think that's really good. The strap is fantastic. I'm going to sling it on wrist just so you can see it, but it is so soft. It's silky smooth. I'm sort of rubbing that in a very inappropriate way. It's silky smooth. So let's just sling it on wrist so you can see it on wrist. So there we go. And that's just lovely. It just fits really nicely. Hugs to the wrist. I would imagine you can wear this all day without any problems at all. Double retainers. It's just very, very good, very, very comfortable to wear. Sorry, I forgot to mention it does have backlight, so in the dark you can see. And then the final thing that it's hard to ignore with this is just the price. So I paid about £8 for this. It's fantastic functionality, great colours, looks great on the wrist. I think that is an absolute steal at this price. I'm sure I've said that before with other different colour variants that they have of this, but I just think it's wonderful. These are absolute no-brainers, and this will be in my 11/11 sale video too. Okay, so we're going to have a go at wrapping this one up fairly quickly because you all know what I'm about to say. So for me, this is an absolutely stone-cold winner. For £8, for the colour, for the functionality, for the comfort. The only thing that you don't get is that robustness that you get with the G-Shock. But aside from that, this is a fantastic watch. I mean, really, really good. I think this is probably better than the full metal version. Great colours. There's just so much going for it. So I would recommend this one. There will be affiliate links in the description. That's it for today. It's just started raining, as you can probably hear, because I sit in a room that's like a drum. That's it. It's a autumnal Saturday afternoon. As I mentioned, it's just started raining. It's been grey and cloudy all day, but I hope it's better wherever you are. If you've enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. Leave a comment if there are other watches you would like to see me review, or if you just want to chat, that would be great. The next video up, which I'm filming over the next few days, is going to be the 11/11 video, of which this watch will be playing a starring role. I look forward to seeing you again then. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.